How do I turn obstacles into opportunities? I've always admired and appreciated people and characters that can reflexively somehow adapt and even benefit from what might otherwise be considered misfortune or even threat. The Spartans from the movie 300, for example, they're a great representation of the idea that life is happening for me and not to me, that obstacles are opportunities. For example, a messenger from the Persian Empire confronts the Spartans and he says to them in a threatening tone, "1,000 nations of the Persian Empire descend upon you. Our arrows will blot out the sun." And a Spartan simply replies, "Then we shall fight in the shade." I mean, just imagine being able to respond to most of life's challenges with that level of ease and certainty that implies, even this is to my benefit. I mean, what an utterly empowered way to move through life. It all starts in our mind, and questions are an incredible way to steer both our mind and our attitude. When asked a question, our minds naturally want to find an answer and automatically start looking for one. And what we spend our time looking for determines what we find, and how we feel, and what we do. The trick is to make sure we're asking the right questions, questions that presuppose empowerment and benefit, or at least leave us searching for it, rather than implying defeat or dissatisfaction or victimhood. Here's an example of questions you probably don't want to spend time asking yourself because they're ultimately disempowering. For example, why does this always happen to me? Well, this question basically implies self-pity and that I'm ultimately at effect of something or someone rather than at cause in this situation. How could that person do this to me? This question basically implies again that I'm at effect of someone else's actions, and also that they're my perpetrator and I'm their victim. What if I'm not good enough? This question straight up leads you to looking for evidence of your own inadequacy. And again, we tend to find whatever we're looking for, so I'm not sure that this question is really going to lead me in a direction that I want to go either. Now, I'm not saying that these questions are completely useless. What I'm telling you is that I used to ask myself these questions on a regular basis, and I can tell you from personal experience that they did not leave me feeling empowered or like I was benefiting from the situation. They usually perpetuated a feeling of disempowerment and just left me feeling worse. So, since questions seem to point our minds in a particular direction, we want to be smart about what we ask ourselves. So, here's a few questions that have helped me start to turn obstacles into opportunities. How am I complicit in the conditions I say I don't want? This one's almost confronting, but that's what I love about it. It can help to shine a light on the places where I might unconsciously be giving my power away or being a victim. It also presupposes a level of responsibility, which I find is usually far greater than we like to admit to ourselves. And even if we're not responsible for a singular event or someone else's actions, we are responsible for how we choose to respond and move through it. If I had a beneficial reason for creating this situation in my life, what would it be? First, this question suggests a level of power. Because if I help to create this situation, then I'm at least partially at cause. And if I help to create this situation, then I can also likely create my way out. And it also presupposes a level of benefit. And if we spend our time looking for that, we're likely to find it. I can tell you that for me, it feels categorically different in my system to look for benefit than it does to dwell on why I'm unfortunate. What can I learn or gain by finding my way through this? Similar to the previous question, this one implies that there's something to learn or be gained by this situation. And that attitude is at the very heart of the idea that life is happening for me, not to me. It also plants a seed of having found your way through the situation, which gives you something to strive for. What's the greatest potential outcome here? This question goes straight for the gold and leaves you looking for the maximum possible benefit. You've already decided that it's there, and it's just a matter of discovering what that is. It's the kind of question that leads you to a Spartan-level response like, "Then we'll fight in the shade." There are no right answers to these questions. A large part of their power simply comes from spending time looking for answers to them, because they orient you as not only having power in this situation, but even having benefited from it. And as a result, they help you turn obstacles into opportunities. Someone recently asked me why I make these videos. I make them because life can be really hard sometimes. And anytime someone has ever given me a tool or a strategy to help make my life a little bit easier or a little bit more enjoyable, I've been immensely grateful. And I want to pay that forward in case there's anybody else out there that might appreciate it. So there you go. This is Rain signing off, and thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.